Students, we are going to start a new topic from geography, that is resource and development. Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as resources. Here we have used three terms to define the resource. First one is technologically accessible. With the help of technology, we extract mineral resources inside the earth crust. The technology is helpful for the finding resources from the environment. Now, culturally acceptable resources which are in the nature. People who are living in the society, they must accept it. And last but not least, that the economically feasible resources are helpful for the economic growth of the country. This is known as resource. Now here, interdependent relationship between nature, technology, and institution. Human beings interact with nature through technology and create institutions to accelerate their economic development. Physical environment means what? Nature, from where we get all resources. And human beings create different institutions from where raw material convert into finished goods, factory, industry, etc. With the help of technology, with the help of tools, machines, and skilled labor. This is the interdependent relationship between nature, technology, and institution. Now come to the flow chart, that is classification of resources. Basically, resources classified into two parts, that is natural and human. We'll discuss later the classification of all resources in a proper way. The natural resources classified into two parts, that is renewable and non-renewable. Then renewable resources further classified into two parts, that is continuous and biological. Then biological resources classified into two parts, that is the flora and fauna. Then non-renewable resources classified into two parts, that is recyclable and non-recyclable. Here, human, that is quantity and quality. Then structures and institutions developed by the human being for the economic growth of a nation. Now come to the topic on the basis of origin. Resources classified on the basis of origin, that is biotic and abiotic resources. Biotic means what? Living things, and abiotic means what? Non-living things. Here biotic resources obtained from the biosphere which have life. For example, human beings, plants, and animals. So far as abiotic resources is concerned, composed of non-living things, they have no life. Example, rocks, land, air, water, etc. Now on the basis of exhaustibility, renewable and non-renewable resources. Renewable resources which can be renewed for or reproduced by physical, chemical, and mechanical process. Example, solar and wind energy, forest, water, and wildlife, etc. And further divided into continuous or flow resources, for example, wind and water. Now, non-renewable resources which are formed over a substantially long geological time, for example, minerals and fossil fuels. We know that it takes long time to form inside the earth crust by different chemical or mechanical process. It is further divided into two parts, that is recyclable, for example metals, and non-recyclable, for example fossil fuels, etc. On the basis of ownership, individual resources, community resources. Resources that are owned privately by individual, example, plots, houses, ponds, wells, etc. Now here, community resources, resources accessible to all the members of a community. For example, public parks, picnic spots, and playground, etc. Now here, national resources and international resources. Resources which belong to a nation. It is known as national resources. Like India, lot of resources are there. Example, roads, canals, railways, minerals, forest, wildlife, land within political boundaries, territorial water and other resources. The term territorial water refers to the oceanic area up to 12 nautical miles is equal to 22.24 kilometer from the sea coast, southeast, southwest and southern part of the India. The country has legal power to acquire even private property for public good. Urban development authorities get empowered by the government to acquire land. Now, international resources. Resources regulated by certain international institution. For example, the oceanic resources beyond 200 km of the exclusive economic zone EEZ, which belong to open ocean, and no individual country can utilize these without the concurrence of international institutions. Now, on the basis of development, potential resources, developed resources, stock and reserve. Potential resources. Resources found in a region which have not been utilized. For example, wind and solar energy. It has lot of potential to develop in the part of Gujarat and Rajasthan, but due to lack of technology, we are not in position to develop it. Now, developed resources, resources that have been surveyed and determined for utilization both qualitative and quantity. Then the development of resources depends on technology and level of the feasibility also. Now, stock and reserve. It refers to material in the environment which have the potential to satisfy human needs, but human beings do not have the appropriate technology to access this. We know the example, lot of places in the environment which have lot of resources, we know it very well, but due to lack of technology, that's Antarctica an example. It has lot of resources, but due to lack of technology, we can't extract resources from that place. Example, water is composed of two inflammable gases, that is hydrogen and oxygen, which could be used as a rich source of energy if we had the required technical know how to use it, then hence it can be considered as stock. Reserve. It is subset of stock which are yet to be put into use with the help of existing technological or technical know how to use it in our daily life as per our desire, as per our requirement. These can be used for meeting future requirements. For example, river water can be used for generating hydroelectric power, but presently it is being utilized only to a limited extent. Thus, the water in the dam is a reserve which can be used in the future. So students, today we discussed about resources and its classification. Thank you.